We have some major breaking news. It has been announced that Ross Chastain and Shane Van Gisbergen will drive for JR Motorsports on a part-time basis in the NASCAR Rally Auto Parts Series in 2026. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. As I just said a second ago, we get some pretty massive major breaking news this early afternoon, as it has been announced that Shane Van Gisbergen and Ross Chastain will drive for JR Motorsports in select NASCAR Rally Auto Parts Series races in 2026. Here's the announcement from JR Motorsports early this afternoon. Another round with the boys from Trackhouse. Ross Chastain and Shane Van Gisbergen return to the number 9 Chevrolet for select races in 2026. Now, they did not announce exactly how many races these guys are going to run in the 2026 season. I believe Shane Van Gisbergen is still eligible to run as many races as he wants to because he hasn't ran more than one full-time season in the NASCAR Cup Series. So I expect SVG to probably run a few races in 2026. And Ross Chastain, because he's been in the Cup Series now for 4 or 5 years at this point, next year will be his 6th full-time season, or his 5th full-time season with Trackhouse Racing, plus having the full year with Chip Ganassi Racing prior. Ross, I believe, will only have the requirements how many races exactly he can run, unless, of course, NASCAR does lift how many races they could run, because NASCAR's talked about lifting the amount of races that these guys could run in the near future. As for both guys coming back, this makes a lot of sense. There has rumors and speculation that Trackhouse Racing was going to have some sort of partnership with the team, considering the fact that Connor Zolch is going to run quite a few races in the NASCAR Rally Auto Parts Series in 2026. I'm not really shocked and surprised by this news. Now, this year in 2025, both drivers got the chance and opportunity to join up with the JR Motorsports team, and both had some solid success in 2025. Shane Van Gisbergen picked up a win at the Chicago Street Course, had one of the strongest cars in the field, qualified on the pole, had a very good day with the team, and he also was very competitive on the other road course events. He only ran 3 races this year, but those 3 races, of course, were Chicago. Then he ran at Sonoma, where he finished second to Connor Zolch. And let's be real, I think that SVG had a faster car than Connor Zolch in that race and had a shot to beat him. And then, of course, at the other race at Watkins Glen, Shane wasn't as strong as Connor Zolch, got taken out while battling for the lead with Connor for the win. Unfortunately, just got caught up in a crash there, getting a little aggressive, and maybe blame goes to him partly, blame goes to Connor in that situation as well. But unless SVG's day would come to an end. I would not be surprised for Shane Van Gisbergen, though, if we see Shane not just run the road courses next year, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets some more oval experience. I get that the O'Reilly Auto Parts car is a lot different than the Cup Series car, especially with the next-gen platform being a lot different, but I think that SVG will probably make some starts on ovals next year is my guess. He'll probably have some road course race, of course, because you know Shane Van Gisbergen is a really good driver, road courses. You obviously have that San Diego race. If Cup guys are allowed to run, I would expect SVG to go run that race. Obviously, you don't have Chicago Street Course on the schedule next year, so that won't be an option for him. But Sonoma's probably a race I'd be looking at for him to run. I'd have to think Watkins Glen, especially early in the season, of how good he's been there. I'd have to think he'll have a chance of running that, considering he's a defending Cup Series winner at the track. I would think Shane Van Gisbergen will probably do all those races in 2026 and probably some oval races as well. Same thing goes to Ross Chastain. Now, while Ross Chastain has not picked up a win with the team, didn't pick up a win with JR Motorsports this year, he came very close to picking up a couple wins. Was really fastest circuit in America, had one of the strongest cars in the field, was probably the 2nd or 3rd best car in that race, had a speeding penalty near the middle of the event that cost him a shot at going for the win and victory, but Ross was super competitive in that race. And then, of course, you have to also look at the other races. Was really strong at Darlington, had a good run going there. I believe finished in 2nd or 3rd position in that race, led some laps in the event as well. Was really quick at Nashville, had a top 5 and top 10 car. I believe finished in the top 5 at Nashville, but I could be wrong on that. And also was really fast at tracks like Dover, though he unfortunately fell out of that race due to, I believe, having a mechanical gremlin and a mechanical failure. I would also think that Corey O'Shea, who has been the crew chief for that 9 car in the select race that car has ran with the drivers at Ram, I'd have to think Corey O'Shea is going to be the crew chief for this car for both those guys in the 2026 season. The other big question we have to ask ourselves is, could we see more drivers find the wheel of the number 9 car? Because we did see Connor Mosack run at Charlotte not too long ago and did have a pretty good run, scoring a top 5 finish. I could see Connor Mosack, because we don't know what his plans are as of yet for 2026. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him get the chance and opportunity, maybe get back behind the wheel, depending on what his plans are for 2026. But the other big one to kind of look at as well, and the other one, is AJ Allmendinger. There was a rumor going around, I believe, from Door Bumper Clear, and they had heard a rumor when AJ was on the Door Bumper Clear podcast, I believe, over a month ago. They mentioned that AJ Allmendinger could make some select starts with JR Motorsports. If that is true, I really would love to see, because AJ in a JR Motorsports car would be really fun to watch. no disrespect to Kaulig Racing, but Kaulig Racing's road course program is not as strong. Plus, there's some unknowns of what's going on with the Kaulig program for Xfinity for next year at the moment right now. I would really love to see AJ get the chance and opportunity to get behind the wheel of a Junior Motorsports car. I would genuinely believe he'd be very fast and really, really competitive, and I think he'd be able to show some really, really good stuff in those events. But also there's a potential possibly going back to SVG. You might see the Red Bull car too, and I think the Red Bull car being an Xfinity would be really fun to watch. We saw that with Connor this year once or twice, and I thought that car looked really, really good. But what are the expectations of both these guys? Obviously, the goal for both these drivers is to get behind the wheel and go to victory lane. That's going to be the goal for Shane and Ross. You want to get that 9 car as many wins as possible. The other big question is, will this car run more than the 9 or 10 races we saw this year? I'd have to think they're going to try to run this car a little bit more. They're probably going to try to go for more owner's points because there's a lot of stuff happening. Obviously, with the 1 car, you've got Connor Zilch and Carson Quaffle splitting that ride. Maybe potentially we see Junior Motorsports try to put Carson in the 9 when Ross or SVG isn't behind the wheel. That could certainly be a possibility, or move him over to the 88 because we got confirmation today that Raj Group's going to be in the 88 for quite a few races next year. I expect Raj to probably get the bulk of those races in the 88 car. There's other drivers have mentioned, and what about potentially Hendrick drivers getting behind the wheel, like a Kyle Larson, like a Chase Elliott, William Byron, Alex Bowman, because obviously there's a lot of chatter that Corey Day could be full-time in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series at Hendrick Motorsports next year. There's been a lot of talk about that. But going back to this story with Shane Van Gisbergen and Ross Chastain, I'm excited for both these guys. I think they're both going to be competitive. I think they're both going to have a really good chance to win Cup races next year because we've seen Shane Van Gisbergen drastically improve on ovals throughout the year. He's had 2 oval top 15 finishes recently, had a top 10 car at Las Vegas, unfortunately got taken out in a crash. And then Ross Chastain, he's been competitive this year, while maybe not as strong as he's been in prior seasons. He got a win in the Coke 600, made the round of 12 this year, showed some good pace and speed. I think Todd Meredith almost being up there running the ship at this point. I think Todd Meredith is going to do a really good job helping manage that program going forward. But nonetheless, excited for both these guys to be back with Junior Motorsports on a part-time sit next year. I expect both, like I said, to be really strong and really, really competitive. And I think Junior Motorsports has a solid core group. Obviously, Sammy Smith and Justin Allgaier will be back with the program. There's still some unknowns on some other drivers that need to be confirmed on the full-time side, like Harrison Byrne, who we expect to go to Sam Hunt Racing next year. There's other drivers that are linked for rides. Christian Atkins, some questions around him for next year. Matt DiBenedetto is also still looking for a ride going into next year. Not sure what his plans are at this point. But nonetheless, some really exciting news today, and pretty happy to see that Shane Van Gisbergen and Ross Chastain will be back in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series next year on select starts. We'll see how they can do in the 2026 NASCAR season, along with their Cup rides. They'll see what they can do in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series next year. So, that is going to be for today's special breaking news report on Shane Van Gisbergen and Ross Chastain joining up with Junior Motorsports once again next season. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go below that and comment your thoughts below on today's video. How do you think Shane Van Gisbergen and Ross Chastain are going to do with Junior Motorsports in the select races next year? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think they'll both be competitive or not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So expect them to be competitive with Rodney Childers coming up. We'll have to wait and see. If any other major news breaks, we'll discuss it live on the channel. There also should be the Craftsman Truck Series race picks coming out later this afternoon for the race in Martinsville. Then Wednesday, there should be a NASCAR news video. We'll have the Daniel Suarez news breaking. He's expected to, of course, go to Spire Motorsports next year. And some other drivers will probably announcing their futures here not too far down the road. Thursday, we'll have Cup race picks and maybe Xfinity Series race picks in Martinsville. Then Friday, we'll have Truck Series race review. And, of course, we'll have a NASCAR news video dropping on Friday. We got a lot of content coming up. People like Haley Deegan, Shane Van Gisbergen, Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, Sheldon Creed, Sam Mayer, Frankie Muniz, Cletus Zafar, Dodge Ram, Brendan Butterbean Queen, Brock Feeney, Will Brown, Cam Waters, Chaz Mostert, you name it, Stuart Friesen, Chandler Smith, Eric Omroll, all the good stuff we'll talk about on the channel in the coming days and the coming weeks as well. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode. I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content, other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, buddy.